Your eyes did not deceive you. It was a 16-1 beatdown for Heroic over Virtus.pro on Nuke, one of the maps that VP has historically always been phenomenal on. Now we move to another one that historically for VP has been great. It's going to be Train, a map that not only have they been good on, but Heroic themselves. I mean, Valdi has pretty much said he needs to get better on Train as an individual. The question is, does the fact that VP has so much experience on this map even matter at the moment?
Well, they're going to be pretty down in the dumps, but they are one of the most experienced Counter-Strike teams we have in the scene right now. So if anyone's going to be able to turn it around after that 16-1 scoreline, it'll be these guys right here. The fact that they know their Train is under par, well, Heroic know their Train isn't up to scratch, I suppose, is probably not a good thing for VP, because that means they may have changed the way that they're approaching the map. You know, they don't want to get caught up. Right. Maybe they're going to try a different approach to see if they can beat VP here. But one of the things that we always say with Virtus.pro is how diverse they can be on both sides of the map, and how all the individuals can do different roles and play different positions. So it's hard to really catch them off guard, unlike what we just saw. Here's
my kind of issue is I mean, yeah, Virtus.pro experience and obviously have a massive ability to reset. We've seen it time and time again, but I didn't see like even the involvement of the players in that Nuke match to think that even if they mentally reset, are they actually going to be in the game?
But they've already made their money. They've already done the job. The odds were against them. Now they'll play the next game, get a 1-1, get a paycheck.
Why are you still sticking to this?
Don't do enough to make the playoffs.
Matt doesn't believe in the moon landing. Thinks 9/11 was an inside job.
Yeah. Hey, man, how do those pillars break each individual way down?
How many shooters were there in JFK?
Jet fuel can't melt steel.
How many shooters? How many shooters do you think there was?
I think it was 2.
I stood on the grassy knoll. I looked at the angles, and I think the guard in the car was in on it. Carry on.
Where can you really go from that one?
Conspiracy theories aside, even though I do,
I don't even follow conspiracy theories. You literally just mentioned the 2 that I know something about, so I just played with it.
Whether they can turn it around or not is
the question.
I don't know.
Flip a coin.
I really don't know.
Do you have a coin on you? We can flip it.
No.
I spent all mine on chocolate bars that I give to you guys.
Surprisingly, none of us have cash here in a place that doesn't really allow credit cards.
It's true.
Thanks, Germany.
But no, I mean, VP, you got to imagine, I mean, the best way to get back into it is to play that hyper-aggressive playstyle, right? Is to kind of just get aggressive like they like to do in middle and E-box. They like those setups. Maybe get a double op. That's always an easy thing to fall back on. Like, you don't even need to have, like, you don't need to be, like, hitting this insane level of skill to just kind of sit back with the AWP and pick 1 or 2 players off as they come into the bomb site.
I guess to, like, kind of frame what happened on Nuke, right? Like, you lose first round, there's 3 rounds you've lost. You lost the first gun round, all right? You're 5 rounds in the hole, basically. Then...
lose the next gun round and you save it.
They lost a 1v2 to Snappy as well.
Then you win a round and then you...
Get reset. And then you, at that point in the match, you're at a point where you know you need rounds, so you have to force buy, so you're never up to scratch with weaponry or utility. So maybe it's not as bad as it seems.
But I mean, we're really reaching for silver linings here, because it's one of those things where it's like, yes, teams can get economically reset, and that can contribute to a bad half, but then even win a round until round 9.
Speaking of economy and silver linings, I named my race car Silver Lining because now I'm broke, but I have a race car.
And I wonder if Virtus.pro can go around the track of Train as nicely as
the
Matt
train
at
tracks.
the Nürburgring.
Really trying to pull
Should have said the train tracks. It would have been better.
I made a Nürburgring reference.
Yeah. I did. I liked it. It was good. No, I heard it. It was great.
It's very difficult to break this down, right? Because the way that Virtus.pro approach this map is always different. They always have a different face in the way they do it. They can have that hyper-aggressive style that you're talking about. They can do double orbs on the T side. They can be very slow, like a Na'Vi-esque style. But one of the things that they do very well is the default into the pincer. They like the Ivy control. They like to pincer the players into hell.
Yeah, we'll tell. Whatever you want to
I call it cutout. Much better name. And just slowly squeeze and waste out the C2 utility, and then just pump them. You know?
Pump them.
Pump them with aim.
Squeeze.
What was it? Face down, bite the pillow? Is that?
I think that was Lauren's line.
That was Lauren's line.
I'm just combining lines to create a linear storyline. That's what I do. So, biting pillow and pumping them.
Great. Excellent.
Jason's was talking about fantasy and going deep.
We did hit on that innuendo earlier.
Yeah, I'm ahead of you right now in that fantasy.
I suppose.
And Lauren's always on top.
We're not waiting for players, are we? Because I can see them all on the server.
I haven't been told anything, so we're just going to be hanging out for the moment.
I think the producer just likes to see us bumble around.
Yeah, certainly.
I think
certainly likes to torture us, doesn't he?
Do you know what the game devs need to fix? Is that if I click away from Solitaire, it closes and doesn't give me my game back. So if Google could fix that, thanks game devs, that'd be great.
High quality content from Sadakist. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Yeah, no, so, I mean, are we expecting, what are we going to see out of Heroic on Train at the very least? I mean, do we have an idea of kind of what they're going to be doing on Train?
Here's a question for the internet. I'm sorry to cut you off, Jason. This one's a good one.
Okay, do it quickly.
How long has Fetish been coaching Heroic for? Somebody tell us.
6 days and 4 hours.
Yeah, well, with this brilliant segment that we just threw together for you guys, I hope you really, really enjoyed it. We worked hard on it all day. We're going to send it over to Pansy.
Sure, these are scripted.
And they wonder why in the control room they renamed like the switch to casters button the panic button, and they put like a big red thing on there, and just like a key in there, like silo codes, all the rest.
Oh no, Matt's starting again quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Solitaire aside, though, I mean, this is definitely not that kind of game for Virtus.pro.
Yeah.
It's not as simple as just thinking about their own game. Now they need to start considering what Heroic are bringing. The silver linings, they were pointed out on the desk, of course, is that Heroic themselves admit that this is maybe not a super strong map for them. But Lauren, we saw Virtus.pro, we saw lack of execution. We also saw, you know, an inability, I guess, to win out on early trades on the map, things that might not even be, you know, map-specific scenarios here. What do we love from Virtus.pro, I guess, that we see from them on this map, and what do we, I guess, want to see more going forward here?
More than one round.
Yep.
That's basically it.
Yep.
I'm going to stick to that.
Okay.
Now, there's a lot to be said about VP's train game, all in all. It was brought up on the desk predominantly there. I like how they play this out. Again, being the masters of fakes works brilliantly on train, but it should also work pretty well on nuke, but it didn't. And that,
Didn't really get much of a chance to do that, did they?
No, exactly. So for me, I don't know. VP, I'm hoping that that first map doesn't get too much in their head. I'm hoping that they aren't just in the wrong mindset by this point, but it's going to be hard, you know, just to reset away from that sort of game.
That's
Even if you're on VP, it's even then, you know, 16-1 isn't pretty to be even considering. But this isn't a great map for Heroic. They say it publicly. It's, you know, I'm wondering what they can do to improve on it, just purely because they seem like a team who can put a lot of theory crafting in. They do have talent there, so that combination always kind of bodes well. Now, anyway, back into the game, though, we can look at what Modi's up to here. Just kind of having a little bit of a peek down towards Ivy. There are 3 players there, but Snack's already walked out towards that Olaf Meister spot now. Swing back in from Modi. He now knows he's pinched. He just backs away from it, gives up the real estate, and says, all right, VP, let's see what you take from this one.
Yuki just prepared to sort of, well, prepared for a wrap, I guess, around in his direction, but VP are all going to go together. It's the Glocks and they're out. Pasha gets 2, but Snappy and Valde now stand tall up on that bomb site. Bialy's forced to send and deliver where he stands, but Nico has a wrap, he has a pinch, and he gets it. It's just going to be Neo left now, that 1v2. And Virtus.pro moving in numbers, and Enforcer early on the round have been cut down to just the 1 player, and Neo does not survive the night. Heroic win the pistol round yet again. That's 0-3 for VP and pistols.
Players to look out for, though, on this map specifically for VP, I'd say Pasha on the CT side can always be influential. Bit hit and miss on occasion, but recently he's been doing fine. Neo as well, he seems to be able to pull off one of those classic Neo performances on this. It's one of his better maps that I enjoy watching him on. Whether or not we see that is completely day dependent, it feels, with VP, but again, a lot to be said for that, but for now, we'll keep our eyes on what we're seeing in the round itself. At the moment, we've got the Scout Deagle combo coming up from VP, so looking for those picks, and Snappy's not letting them. Couple of tags have come through in the meantime, though. Yugi and Snappy now just being, you know, put on alert, basically. Don't want to feed into this. Let's play a little bit smart here. Don't allow that Scout to get any work done.
A foot forward play for Heroic in this round. Snappy cuts him to the quick. Pasha has very minimal opportunity here to egress further with Bialy. The smoke does just clear now in Ivy, but Yugi was ready for that. Still somehow actually comes out a little bit worse in the trade. Snacks is given a second lease on life, a stay of execution, a chance to back away. But what are VP looking for here? It's a scout for Pasha. Obviously combining with the pistol, Bialy can secure kills pretty comfortably. 1 tag with the scout will equal a deagle kill to the body. What are they going for?
This is the shame almost here. Heroic are vulnerable. The 3 players are a little bit worse for wear considering, and Pasha now the last man standing, you know, position duly noted by 2, and 5 alive for Heroic, keeping numbers up. And considering that could have been a bit more for VP, it's a bit of a shame nothing happened to it. Yugi, Snappy, and Modi were all tagged within something that they could have achieved. They had the deagles, they had everything else they needed, but yeah, it didn't come through. So VP push right back down.
Yeah, and this allows Heroic to be especially thrifty in this round. They hold on to the UMPs they brought in the prior one. They're going to have just as much impact, if not more, in this round, especially when Virtus.pro cannot afford to armor themselves up. They're going to roll together again, though, similarly to the pistol round, but Yugi just nails Taz with that nade, of course, with the help of Snappy. Nicely read, Heroic. The playbook full of notes. Fetish definitely leading from the rear, and it seems to be working out thus far. It's going to be Valde now again. Again, we've seen these in isolated situations already from Heroic. Some aggressive CT plays, but Snacks comes in with the Desert Eagle. But it's not going to be enough.
No, Neo found one earlier, so it looked like there could be a chance from that one, but the rest of Heroic kind of neutralized it, and Neo was trying to find a bit of a swift way in, maybe cause some damage, maybe find another kill to grab or just stay alive with that rifle, but it wasn't to be. So buy comes in finally for VP. Now it's about how do we handle that gun round?
Yeah.
Last time Heroic won it out on Nuke, so I wouldn't be surprised if they can do it here. Straight away AWP on Yugi too.
This is where we get to see if it's the fundamentals that are tripping up Virtus.pro. I mean, if you needed any more evidence after the previous map, or if it's strategical and execution-based stuff. Very technical term there, I know. Bialy's going to now get that smoke on in. There's 2 smokes over on the A side thus far. Smoke, of course, up in brown halls. And Neo takes a small amount of damage from a grenade thrown in his direction, if I'm not mistaken. Nico doesn't challenge on B, but Snappy might be in a position here to break Virtus.pro apart if he times it well.
Yeah, I'm keeping my eyes on Yugi too. He's going to be the one playing over by B as well with that AWP. He's pretty much dedicated here for now. Snappy's pushed up by Pop. That would be nice if they actually do try and split towards it. Oh, Nico almost went for a little bit of a look there, but held himself back. Played the corner. VP not committing at all. But no information really found, or not too much information found for Heroic. They haven't pushed up anywhere. They haven't pushed on down Ivy, because of course there's players there. Now, it is that weird split that comes in. It's probably Pasha over by Ivy, and the 4 players that remain with VP slowly working those brown halls. So Pasha can at least be a nuisance. He can split through CT as well. He can try and find routes to support his team hitting this B site. But there's still Yugi here. And there is still Nico. So, this is what we want to see. How much can Yugi do here? Finding another angle, works it well. Neo falls foul to it, but Bialy breaks through back for VP. Now, the bomb can be planted at this point. There is no one to really stop them. No utility can hinder this. So now bomb goes down, but keep your eyes on Snappy. He is on the flank.
He spent all round waiting in Pop Dog for his chance now, and he's not even going to be able to get involved. The big investment of time, and it doesn't really matter. It's not required here for Snappy. He's just going to wait to make sure his teammates can pick up some guns. Valde wanted himself an AK-47, and that's the defuse. Virtus.pro now again back down into the dumps, back to the drawing board to find out how they're going to approach these rounds. They were completely stopped in their tracks, especially by Yugi with that double kill up on the upper part of the A-B side, should I say.
Yeah, it was really important for him to be able to isolate those 2. Sure, the third, of course, became a problem, but even just finding 2, it kind of nullifies what VP wanted to do with being able to apply that pressure at the same time towards that A site. Normally, maybe, I guess it was Nico who was there, would have been overwhelmed by that eventually, but no, they retained what they had. Now, we're not seeing the same thing twice. Yugi going elsewhere this round. Snappy, though, playing quite aggressive as to what we seem to have seen so far. Likes to play up quite attentive towards Pop. And Yugi is over by the bomb side itself. Valde, that is not ideal, but Yugi's there to babysit, keeping control of the situation. Pop flash again, and oh, he catches Taz so well. Neo Avengers, but by this point they've lost 2 players and gained no ground.
I like the Heroic playing like bull terriers at the outer extremities of the A site here. Virtus.pro can't get in for free. They can't even really get a look in at the moment. They're not playing with an AWP. They haven't really been able to afford it. So that makes the investment much greater if they actually want to get some real estate, and they can't. They can't do it. Modi shuts down Pasha Biceps before he tries to get through, and it's Yugi to meet Neo. 3 kills for Yugi in this round as well. He is making the AWP do some serious work.
And it shows nice variation for him too. Saw him quite dedicated towards B, the round prior to last, showing that maybe that's the read they had, maybe it's the approach that they knew that VP liked to do, and then he adjusted again, playing towards the outer train site. So just nice changes up, nice bit of a read, good positioning. Now VP do have a buy into this to a smaller degree. They have a lot of utility, but not much armor. So this is clearly a set piece they've got worked out here, and I'm wondering how this one unfolds. As already we're seeing Snappy quite up close. He likes to play by Pop. He didn't do it in the last round. It was more electric, kind of playing towards main. And we are seeing the smokes go up. 3 mollies still to hand as well for VP, so this isn't the full strat yet. But Yugi already finding Pasha isn't looking good. Nice flash though, Snappy sprays him wildly, still finding Neo. That's the surprising part. But Taz does trade it out, but they're down to 2 now.
Smokes are on the side, and that's all well and good, but Lauren, VP are lacking the players in a big way.
How is Taz here?
He snuck through. There was a flash, I believe, but Nico's going to be there to meet him. Always a gatekeeper, and Valde puts this one to a swift end. This map is starting to look a lot like the previous one here. Heroic got, I think, out to 8 or 9 rounds before VP could chime back in.
Now, let's again put this in context. If people didn't get to catch the start of the show, I highlighted the fact that Heroic, from what I've heard, have been practicing pretty much, hell for leather. They've been putting a lot of time. They are 3 minimum players are at boot camp right now as well. They're aiming for DreamHack Austin. They are prepared for this. So you're seeing them in, one of their premium modes, in some of their best sort of form, whereas VP, it's online, pick all the excuses the VP love here at this point, but Taz has found room to work. We'll come back to that point here because they've sped up the pace and they've found angles to play with here. They've actually allowed access to the sites. Modi, desperate for a boost to get up on that box, have a little bit of sight above, find someone like Pasha, and he does. But Taz again trades out well. Leaves Yugi all alone, but that doesn't seem to matter. And now Bialy, try and handle this.
Still 1 minute and 20 left in the round, but you can see the bomb, it's out in the loose. Bialy knows where Yuki is, and he probably makes an estimated guess of the best spot to be watching the bomb. And that is right here. So the smoke was a good call. Bialy's one of these players, he's like a Houdini, Lauren. He can weasel himself out of a lot of these situations and make them positive. But he still hasn't gone for the bomb yet. He was hoping to bait something from Yuki, but nothing gives.
Now, I want to see how Bialy approaches this. He knew where Yuki was, but he doesn't know where he is now. Now, Yuki's gone down to the CZ, cautious of his push, careful of what could be coming. I don't think he saw them either. Just a little bit too shallow on the angle. Now, the bomb has been recovered. Bialy can place this down now. Yugi slowly encroaching, but still by the old bomb train. Both players so cautious, not 100% aware of what's going on just yet, but now the bomb's planted. And Yugi has to mentally work his way back in. Merely a CZ, but that's all you need. Bialy crumbles at his hand, and Yugi is having a huge performance for Heroic. Individually outstanding and providing clutches. How much more value can one man bring to a team here?
And you can see just how Yugi's thinking this round through as well, especially the lines he was watching when he didn't quite know where Bialy was. I do particularly enjoy the fact that he entertained the idea that Bialy might try and sneak off to the B side via connector. As risky as that would be, given that Yugi has a safe rotation through CT, double AWP now for Virtus.pro. Desperation tactics come out, but Heroic have 2 to match.
Double or T-side on train. Now, I guess you can find a little bit more value in this map for it than others. CT side, sure, I kind of like that look. You know, we've seen Fnatic run it, we've seen other teams run it. It looks quite nice on them. And actually, Heroic have the money. You're 7-0 up, you've had clean rounds. Sure, why not? VP, on the other hand, this is one of those like, okay, we've got to get round to the board. Let's try something new. Let's try a new approach. Maybe get some picks, maybe try and make some plays, but those nades are doing some work. And Yugi has been on form here.
A lot of linearity to train, which is why we see the AWP be such a prevalent and dominant weapon in a lot of situations. But Virtus.pro, they pick double orbs because they're hoping to play around some picks here. And there it is. Modi falls to Pasha. Good opening for him. That was down by Ivy as well. So it's not often you see a rifler go down so cheaply to an AWP down that part of the map, but it did happen.
Because it's such valuable real estate. They hold so much access to the map. So again, you have to be very, very aware of that. Now, Valley's reclaiming real estate back. So he's claiming that map control back for Heroic by doing this push and allowing the others to be like, okay, we've got to get ourselves ready for the hit that's coming in towards A. They have double AWPs. Taking sides isn't going to be easy at this point. Now, Valdi, how long does he wait? He spotted 2, 3. This is massive for Valdi. He makes the call. He gets the frags. He didn't even need to get the first. Yuki was already on it. And sure, Pasha's trying to make a stand with Bialy, but by this point, everything's been noted. The bomb is in such a bad spot as well. They have to go uphill to even try and get it.
The AWP is still in play here for Pasha and for Snappy. But Bialy's now trying to make something happen over towards that bomb cart. It doesn't work out, though. And the bomb is loose at Valda's feet. Pasha needs to challenge this one, and he does. It's a quick shot, but it's only 5 points of health. Very vulnerable, strong. Gust of wind would knock him over, and then a Molotov on the bomb. That's lethal for someone in Pasha's condition.
And they might have just bought enough time here almost. He does manage to pick up the bomb, but yeah,
no
time's
chance.
run out. Really smartly done by Heroic in the end. I'm not sure who had that molly out of the players. I can imagine Nico.
Oh, the money.
You're skint already. And dying after the time is just going to make it worse. Oh, God. But yeah, this play, a bit of a response, it feels like, to losing out on, I think it was Modi who got picked up over by Ivy. And instantly you saw the playback. All right, okay, we've got to find something way back into this. We're kind of playing blind at this point. Played it back in so well.
Oh, Pasha's got $350.
Yeah, there it is. There's that money impact of killing anyone on the T side after the time runs out. And that is just, you know, bad to worse for VP. You'd kind of hope that they'd get themselves started into this map. And not many, I guess there is a discussion to be had of how much does momentum and confidence, you know, picking up even just the first couple of rounds, allow VP to build back into a game. You've just kind of been thrashed 16-1 on Nuke, which, sure, it's a great map for Heroic and not a brilliant one for you as of late. Okay, mentally fine, you kind of accept that. But you want to at least kick it off, right?
We talk about like a 14-map win streak on Nuke for Virtus.pro. That was what they did have, and that's why people tuning in and thinking, why are we dunking on Virtus.pro for the Nuke, for example? I mean, it's purely the contrast to what we saw from them earlier on in this year to what we see now. But perhaps it's more than just a map-based issue. Perhaps it's more fundamental. And the reason why we can make that particular conjecture is this. Still no rounds. Virtus.pro, 1 round in the previous map. 1 round out of 25 they have won so far. And that's going to break you. That's going to be very, very hard to come back from. We know this is a team with mental fortitude and stamina. We know that. But it doesn't mean that you can make things click after suffering such a big defeat, as we saw earlier on. And look, as we just mentioned, VP have a round loss bonus that's at maxed out, right? They come out with like 3.4 to 4K, but Pasha, he can't buy anything. He buys a smoke, that's all he can afford.
And the heartbreaking fact is that for VP, this has been one of their real lifelines recently trained. It's been their kind of go back to, they managed to beat Astralis on it during ECS, which is, was a couple of days ago. So, as of late, they've had some relatively decent results. Not too long before that, though, they also lost 16-2 against Fnatic. So it's one of those that, yeah, it can be a hindrance. It can be quite difficult. DreamHack Las Vegas, let's remember, your DreamHack Masters, they beat SK on this. They beat Astralis again there. They beat Mouseport. It's one of the maps that they can go to that is often strong for them. But right now, we're not seeing that. We're seeing Heroic in prime form and VP not in that. So it's a big disparity between the two. Neo going to be putting the smoke up. It looks like the kind of line of smokes are as much as they can afford to do towards that outer bomb site. Only actually 2 up on deck, so a little light on what they can achieve here. And eventually, they just have to try and take the fight towards the site. But good line of sight from Modi here, allowing room to work for the Orbs, be able to spot most of the push, excluding someone. It's Snappy landing them back-to-back. The Orbs are going to town, and sure, Snack snuck through, but it doesn't matter. He's found in the end, and Neo trying to find a connection with the Deagle, and it's just a round out the way. So VP probably taking that time out and discussing what's going to happen in this round, the buy round.
Obviously, AKs are an option here, even the cheeky AWP thrown in the mix, but Virtus.pro already attempted a double AWP play on this T side, which is unorthodox in itself, and it didn't work, so suffice to say. It was a closer round. Snacks can go for it, though.
Yeah, and it's Snacks this time. We saw Neo running with the ult before. We know that Pasha likes to run it on this map. But let's kind of take account of what's happening here. The double ult often encourages you to hit sites themselves. And now Val is going aggressive, so I kind of like that. You're kind of reading what the counter, quote-unquote, is to what you're playing. Now Snappy's noted that too. So, excuse me, Snacks noted it as well. So a bit of information trickled back and forth. You have Nico playing on the side too, so they've kind of bolstered the numbers by B for Heroic. And it feels like maybe a good read from Snappy this round.
Nico repositioning here towards the back of the site. Snappy will be standing guard via connector. Yeah, double AWP, CT side forces you into an execute that involves a lot of smokes. Obscuration, if that's even a word, of sight lines. Very important here, of course, given the linearity of a site like this one. It's all lines everywhere, but VP have made their way on towards the site now. Easy does it. Flashes up there, and Valda can't get much forward. He can't see a heck of a lot, and Bialy's able to cut him down. Nestu's going to force Yugi in through connector, and Snappy's at the back of the site. VP have a lot of control of this B site.
Yeah, so far, really well played. They have pushed back Heroic, and Heroic aren't playing back into it as perfectly as I can imagine they'd like. Bialy lands a blinder too. Nico swept under the rug, and it's Yugi playing retake on this one. 1v3. That might be a bit too far for him, but he's got the first, so maybe game on. But will you expect Snacks out on the site? Like, oh my god, Snacks misses the shot. It opens up a chance, and beautiful movement from Yugi, but a better shot from Snacks will seal it finally for VP, getting one on the board. But you saw how aggressive they got, and I like that. They took the aggressive stance. They basically got the bomb towards the side, but the deeper smokes allowed them to play into it. They pushed forward. They kept Heroic humble and further back.
You can almost hear the words on every VP fan's lips right now. 4 of them. Please don't get reset. Not like the last map. This is happening in a similar fashion as well. And VP, I'm probably sure they're acutely cognizant of the fact.
Oh, look at the pace here from VP. Again, just going right back into this hammering pace, and Heroic just don't expect it. Nowhere near aware that VP would just do this sort of thing. You kind of sat there scratching your head going, why would you? But Yugi is putting on a show. The third doesn't come through, but Modi swiftly finds a way to find some sort of relevance to the round. But where's that bomb? Who's got it right now? So it's Pasha who's got the bomb. You've got Snacks still with the AWP. Oh, Snacks almost had a shot then as well. Nico, you got to watch this one. And Pasha going the long way around. This is a very, very brave play. If Nico somehow had an inkling of this or finds an angle towards Snacks, Pasha's all alone.
This is the best way that Pasha can make a sort of outside rotation and still put him and Snacks in a potential crossfire situation, or at least a refrag, right? Pasha heads towards B, gets a little bit harder. Harder to pinch Nico in connector, at least. But I like this for Nico. Playing more from the outside here. Circumventing Pasha's route as well. Catches Snacks. That's just beautiful. Okay, he still doesn't know where Pasha is, though. He has no idea that Pasha snuck so close in, and in the meantime, Pasha's going to head over towards B.
The important thing for Nico, I guess, if you want to find that, is that he's got a molly. Now, Nico's starting to get towards the site, so he's going to notice this isn't a right about now, of course, as the bomb goes down. Now, Pasha's got time to adjust. Not fully aware of how long he's got, but long enough. He's got a molly as well, and there's no smoke on Nico, so he's going to have to kind of do the dance either way. Now, might speed up his tap towards the bomb site. Molly towards it now.
He's going to peek it, surely.
Pasha, you don't need to peek this. Nico's looking. Now, by this point, you're thinking, all right, he's going to be on upper, surely. No, he was expecting Ram. Pasha readjusts very well, finds a safe angle to play from, and the switch up of pace then completely caught off Heroic. They still have the fullback money. You've still got 9K at that point. It was sat on Yugi, I think. And the money's stable enough. There's enough left over for VP to fashion a buy. But I don't think you're going to get away with those kind of like one-off pieces where you just rush haphazardly.
It's just extreme contact play towards the side. They're using a lot of those smokes there as well. So they know they're going up against some sort of double AWP and they're getting in their face. And albeit simplistic, it's been an effective response so far. And Pasha actually winning a clutch round there as well. Very important because he has struggled on Nuke especially. I think there were 3 of them where he was in 1v1s where he wasn't able to come on top here. So looking better, but definitely not out of the woods yet. Again, this is the classic VP 3-man investment over towards Ivy here. But Modi, you can see how passively he's playing it. It's the smallest of shoulder peaks and it's a smoke out there just to buy a little bit of time. Allow Modi to reposition.
Now, this pacing, this approach hadn't worked previously for VP. So that timeout might come through. This has got to be another round where you've come up with something and an idea to work for. But right now, Heroic have 4 players still by A. Nico, no inclination, no idea that there could be anything towards B. He's felt no pressure. A little bit of a boost above the smoke between, I think that's Snacks and Neo. Sees nothing particularly. Backs away from it. Slower hits, slower pace, but building through Ivy now. And you can see Snappy right at the back of this.
This could be one and done.
And I like this crossfire. It feels like a counter. It feels like a read. You do have Modi still watching this who's flashed out, but they now need to be aware of Modi who's just spamming into it. They have Valdi there as well, but the pinch needs to come out now from Snacks and Neo. They need to apply the pressure, the next level on it. They're down to 35 seconds, but the bomb is now by the old bomb train. They're not sure where to go. They're going towards B. Bialy and Taz, they're heading towards B, and Nico's still here, completely unawares.
Surely he gets caught out by this. The closest player to Nico is Yugi in Connector, and Nico's not watching his back, or is he now? He hasn't heard anything. Sees Bialy and wins it out. The bomb goes loose. Oh, that's a big little trade there. He may have gone down, but he's cut VP down to the single player up against 3 on the side of Heroic, who will take their time on this one. Taz doesn't have a Molotov or Incendiary, so he doesn't have any option to try and play up, and he's not in a 1v1, so that rarely works anyway. He's going to be surrounded now, corralled into the middle of this bomb train. Time for Taz to try and pull something magnificent out of his hat, but he can't. He can't even get the first. Modi and Valdo combine, and Virtus.pro are shut back down and sent close back to poverty.
Heroic switching things up as well. They're not playing it exactly the same either. It's so much more presence towards Ivy that time. You saw Snappy, finally going over there. You throw your minds back to the start. He was consistently over by Pop. He was, pushing up towards aggressive sort of stances towards A, way closer to where the T's normally make that first bit of contact. But he switched things around, which I guess helped out a little bit. Then you got the information flowing a little easier. Now VP's money's on that borderline again. Far from perfect, but fashioned together in some sort of manner. But maybe a switch up of speed again could help, but it feels like you're just running on kind of fumes by this point. Heroic are back in the buy.
Again, this may be another one of those rounds where VP want to get up in the face a little bit more. They have players positioned above Pop Dog, and you can see Snappy's waiting below. Just a little bit split from VP here. If they want to explode into Pop Dog, which we saw, they sort of follow up with a flash. Snappy already at least got the 1-for-1 last time this happened, but it looks like that's what VP want to go for here. Smokes on the site, drop down Pop. Or will they?
Not yet. Now, Snappy's the early warning system again, but him going is a problem. But now the others can ready themselves. Yuki backs away from this, finds a new angle and finds Neo. Looks for more, he's right on the edge of the smoke. Oh my god, they've all gone past him. There's one right next to him, he gets blocked, but he gets out the other side, but Snacks, fully aware, somehow spins around and catches him out. And Modi gets swept aside, and you're down to this 2v2. Hectic as you like, but Valdi stands tall, and Nico secures the round. Heroic again denying everything VP want to try. These guys have worked on their train. We've said it before, Heroic said themselves, we're not that good on it yet, it's a work in progress individually. I don't feel that great on it yet. This looks like a far different team. Where you want to put Virtus.pro on the scale of what they can be on this map is completely up to you guys. It's hard to judge it, right? Is this VP in a good place? I don't think so. VP in a good place, don't get 2 rounds.
You've got an intersection of VP on a downswing and Heroic really having worked on this map. VP could have been polite last round and actually just sat on pistols or forced maybe, like weaker pistols and had enough for maybe even an AWP in this round, but they lose it out. And now it's pretty much nothing. It's the P250. Pasha. No armor.
It should just be this B hit. You're playing for a plant. You just want to get a little bit more money. Nico knows that. I don't think he can stop it. He's having a nice little farm though, but oh, this is lovely. Nico couldn't quite close it down for the ace for himself. Yugi and Snappy were there, but for VP, they did what was expected or what they wanted of that round. Get the bomb plant. Just allowed you a little bit more cash to play with into this pretty much final round coming in pretty much right about now. So they do get the utility. They do get a little bit more to play with, but not by a long, a large margin. And on the other side of things, you look at Heroic, everything you'd want, everything you'd need. Double ops coming out, plenty of cash to spare. But what an outstanding performance we've had from Yugi and Valdi so far.
I mean, Yugi especially was a player when he sort of first made his appearance. I think it was in Katowice, or actually, many said that this guy's got potential to be one of the best AWPers. It's from Denmark. I mean, he's got a bit of opposition there, but 20 frags already before the half. Admirable. This time, though. Doesn't connect the shot. Now, just a one-man play towards Ivy for VP at the moment. It might just be that B hit now, and that's sort of evidenced by the fact that Bialy's sort of sitting back towards Pop Dog. They're not, sort of poised to make an execution and play contact on A's. We've seen them with maybe lesser economies. It's a bit more measured this time around. Valdo wants to mess it up. Doesn't quite get enough damage down there, to be honest. Gives a bit of ground. Let's bring Snappy in now as well, just to assist with Nico on B.
See, these sort of players, like Valdi, these kind of new, not new is a wrong word, but, people like this, you'd love, what, also what Drop the Bomb did with Lekra, you get to kind of meet these people, kind of talk to them and talk it through. These guys have had great successes of late. It's awesome to see that coming back in, but back into the game, you've already seen, as said, Valda being down is actually quite the hefty blow for Heroic. He's been a hugely impactful player. Nico going anti-flash for a second then, after hearing a couple of pins being pulled. And Bialy begins to go walkabouts. Now, Yuki Finding might give, the incorrect information over. It might make Nico and Snappy doubt themselves. Or they bolster the numbers and get ready, because here comes the hit. VP send 3 players in towards B. Snacks makes it through. Did not expect Snappy to be there, but Bialy's amongst them. Now, spotted, yes. Still a threat, definitely.
Grenade now out towards E-Box. He was just going to back away with that one. Just let Modi sort of think about that one a little bit. He'll head into brown holes, and the bomb's over on that B side. Bialy needs to get there first, so he has to use that Molotov purely just to, make sure he's not prevented from planting in the first place. But he takes down Snappy somehow. Quick little adjustment.
That was on 3 seconds. No, he didn't in the end. He just planted on 3. That was on the very, very verge of it being a possible plant. That could have changed things around, but what's happened is Heroic have 13 rounds sitting in their favor, which is a huge deficit the Virtus.pro need to make up now for.
Yeah, they've got one more round of the half than they did in the previous game, but unfortunately that's really not going to cut the mustard right now. Virtus.pro, a huge task ahead of them once again on the other side of the half. We'll see you there. Well. Another similar story as to what we saw on Nuke earlier on. Lauren, it's Virtus.pro have struggled. Trigger discipline like this, only one part of the full arsenal that Heroic brought to bear against Virtus.pro. And speaking of the Bears themselves, they have had a quiet half indeed. 2 rounds is all they managed to get themselves. Again, that reset was always looming after they picked up the first. It seems to take them 7 or 8 rounds to get that first round win of the half, Lauren. By that time, they are well and truly behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, outplayed, and I've got to say, generally the strength for Heroic, in my eyes at least, is how they approach their T sides. I find them so much more enjoyable to watch, well-crafted, well-theoried. I'm not sure if we are live right now.
This one is a little bit ahead of us, so.
I think there's a technical issue, but I think we are live in the game. So I'm going to take it as such for now. Yeah, we are. So we get to see that nice little frag movie looking sort of screen right now. The minimalistic UI, you know, we're going for the realism look.
All right, well, we'll try and help people out with this one here as well. I mean,
so just a reminder, T side is Heroic, Virtus.pro CT side. At the moment, we've got this kind of like 2-1-2 going on. Bomb is being left all the way back towards spawn. So Nico's just picking that one up, and they're starting to work things around. That's Nico on the way here. Just gonna grab that. My version's actually faster than this, or further ahead on GoTV, so this is even more confusing. But for now, it is Nico heading all the way over towards what looks like Ivy for now. And Snacks has already gone walkabouts over by B by this point. He's worked his way up towards those brown halls, so full information gathered. That's a big issue here for Heroic. They've got to ready themselves what's coming their way. But in response, you can see Modi kind of just checking this around. He's the one holding over by Pop here. So again, this could flip either way at the moment. And there we go. There comes the first bit of contact. Snacks goes down. Big information play. Now they know, they pretty much Virtus.pro know their exact plan. Taz readies himself down by Pop, and now the hit comes in.
yeah, you can see Heroic trying to make their way in from Ivy right now, but it looks like they've been caught up, choked even around this area. Valda goes down to Taz, and now we see the challenge. I think this is Nico here on your screen. No, Yugi goes down. This will be Nico. Gonna get it right eventually, no doubt about it. It's the 1v2 though. Work to be done, no doubt about it. Oh, he can get our overlay, that's something at least. He has the bomb in hand if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to play into this. Both players peeking together, gonna make it difficult. And Taz, sat on the bomb site, does eventually complete the round for Virtus.pro. So just to update you on the scoreline, it will be 13-3. Virtus.pro give themselves breathing room. Now, coming back into the next round, I'm just gonna talk to you like it's a radio broadcast because you get no additional information.
Oh, we're back.
We are live into it, so I can stop that. Yay! You don't have to sync up your Winamp with us, don't worry.
Those are the days.
Yeah.
All right, well, obviously with Heroic now losing out on that pistol round, Virtus.pro, there's a glimmer of hope here. We're going to do it without sound, though. That's sort of fine with us. Heroic coming into this round, they do force a couple of those Tech 9s into this situation. Nico's going to be one with armor. Oh, hello. That's a thing.
Hello.
But VP is split over the sides. They've actually got Snacks playing fairly close towards the exit from Pop Dog. So he might be able to receive this one here. He's been given the UMP in this round. Nothing really to write home about, though, about the setup here for VP.
I like when I can tell we switch between PCs at the moment with production. That's a spicy meatball. Now,
is it a spicy meatball?
It is for me. Now, 1 minute and 9 seconds left. Neo prepares the nade. Taz, placing vision towards the upper side of things. And this is going to be that big explosive hit towards B. This is looking good, especially with that. That is the axis. That's a key given over. That's a bomb plant. And I like the positions actually for the off plant as well from Heroic. They're taking fights. They're pushing up close. Neo is overwhelmed. He sees nothing. And now VP are locked out of this.
This is ridiculous. This shouldn't be happening. Heroic getting here so comfortably. Modi gets the possibly one of the most ridiculous frags to open this round up. And our pass is being forced back. It's Heroic getting so aggressive over on this side. Bialy desperately trying to intervene, make a difference. Even give it a tickle on the bomb site, but he's up against 4 players. And if that isn't some sort of euphemism for Virtus.pro's performance tonight, I don't know what is.
Do you know what's really fun? VP getting reset in these rounds. It's so upsetting to see. Every time they're on the CT side, the reset just seems to hit them so damn hard. And then Heroic as well, getting the plant to boot. They don't need to upgrade too much. They had a fair few alive. So for VP, bring me something. Show me something of what you got here, VP. Your CT side needs to be somewhat phenomenal to be able to even get a glimpse of back into this game. Heroic are right on that doorstep. They're so close to be able to pull this one through. And VP so far, I want to see aggression. I want to see something different.
So far from VP, Snacks might be giving this to us. So the fact that he's already found himself in towards Connector is one thing. He's actually got a player behind him on Ivy. That's Bialy to make his way through. The question is, are they going to be in position to actually get involved before the action starts, or do they lose half their teammates? Snacks is playing up close. Snappy's surely not ready for this one here. He's looking towards Pop Dog, so he loses his head, but already the hit's happening on towards B.
Yeah, that's the threat handle. If Snacks had maybe, I don't know, been quicker or they hadn't been as aware, there could have been an issue, but Valdi keeps everything safe and sound. Now, Bialy trying to find a way back in, but, you know, you're in a 1v4, you're not going to get it done, so why not save the armor, keep the MP7, keep the 5.7, try and, you know, maybe an exit would be lovely. If you can get a rifle away, perfect, but I don't think that's going to be the case for him at all. I think he might be pretty much stuck down onto this one if he doesn't get chased out here by this point. I think Heroic might even go for it. Yeah, Nico's going up for the clear as well. Peeking the corner very, very cautiously, and the dink's not enough. And the Mpiali will be overrun here. And we're speeding up in time. 15-3, though, is the scoreline now. Heroic very much knocking on the door now of closing this one out at 2-0, which is a huge blow for Virtus.pro and a massive step in the right direction towards Heroic, who could really cause some upsets in this Pro League.
It's going to be out-and-out aggression here for Virtus.pro in this round to try and make something happen. It's going to be the Nova for Snacks. He finds one. Modi drops down his lifeless body. And Snacks takes a lot of damage for that one here as well. He still wants to play back into it because he's got nothing to lose at this point. Unfortunately, Snappy will shut him down. That completes the trade. The remaining weapons on the side of Virtus.pro are no more convincing. As the Scout, there's CZs in a 5-7 here, and with the Molotov being thrown down, this forces Pasha away from being able to play close angle on the push out from Ivy. That could hurt him really badly, make it harder for him to bring the CZ to bear properly.
Now with Heroic getting a 2-0 here, that will put them on 10 wins and 11 losses. That's next to the likes of Fnatic. That's within almost top 7 range, so this is what this game means. They can actually get into the qualifying spots if they play this one outright and they get the next games to follow. But into the round we go, as it's down to Neo and Bialy to try and save some sort of face here. But Nico and Yugi are low, so there is a chance they get this one on the board.
2v2 now. That bomb being carried by Nico. Oh, he gets met by Bialy there as well. VP playing from less expected angles here as well. The game state is in flux, but they managed to get themselves right up into brown halls, and that puts a lot on Yugi's shoulders. He's had a fantastic game so far, but Neo meets him there with the Scout to keep Virtus.pro alive. They carry 2 rifles into the next round, and the rest should be able to be supplemented to a degree. Well, Pasha and Taz, if they want armor, they're not going to get themselves a heck of a lot going on. Yeah, UMPs need to be bought in. There's 2 Mag 7s, if I'm not mistaken.
Now the interesting factor with this team is they have Kingwin up next as well. So we'll see if these guys can get into the qualifying spot. That'll be an interesting one. But right now, Bialy going to go for the information play, trying to get a bit aggressive here, and he does dominate the angle, but he now needs to beat one that is Valdi. There he goes, and Yugi trades it. Where did Yugi get that frag? I'm not even sure, but yeah, this is worrying. Taz being so low and Neo being pushed up. If Neo doesn't get everything going his way, in a situation like this, a clean kill and be able to back away, that would have been troublesome. But Modi burning a fair bit, and Taz, please don't walk into that molly.
That's so big, though. Taz actually manages to get around that nade. Justin, Neo's up on the high ground there just to assist him. Snappy has access to the bomb, but it might just be a trap, and it is. Neo just turns around, comes back in towards brown holes, and spots Snappy trying to make good and make away with the goods. And now Heroic, actually with less money than we've seen them with in most rounds, except their pistols.
Yeah, this is actually important to keep that many players alive for VP as well. It means they can actually flesh out their buy here, because before they would have been a little bit lighter, might have had to invest into maybe less than ideal items, but now they're okay. Now they're in a nice keel. Whereas Heroic, just probably on the pistols, probably just going to look for that plant, maybe do the B hit that worked out for VP in round 14. Now, obviously, they didn't do much with it beyond getting the plant, but that's the intention, and that's what you really want to get going. The guys to deny it will be the classics, Taz and Neo over by B. Taz playing quite close as well, so he's going to be the first port of call to try and deny that plant. So Neo watching for the push out above him as well.
Should be a veritable shooting gallery from here on out. There's no armor on Heroic. They should really all be gunned down. They've got no way of getting themselves access towards that high ground easily. Tash should be able to meet them as they drop. Valda falls. And yeah, pretty standard stuff back and forth. Neo takes a bit of damage there, and Taz falls. Surely not.
It's a bomb plant they were looking for. The rest is a benefit, a bonus. It doesn't really matter. Snappy finding one is big. 2 kills there, very nice. Considering they had rifles up, that's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. That's what you want out of this. That's probably one of the better outcomes you're gonna hope for. 1, you get the plant. 2, you get down 2 rifles. You cost them a little bit of a reinvestment. Now, for Heroic, step by step, you're still on that match point. No need to rush. For VP, it's, you know, back to the wall CS sort of style for them. Not that they're completely unaware of that being the form they're in recently. It's been up and down. The
game changes economically when you're forcing every round, or when you have to force every round. When you're on match point, that's the situation. Virtus.pro don't have the opportunity to really mess around. Fortunately, the money for them is totally fine. It's enough for them to sort of buy into this round properly with everything they need. They are completely decked out, but Heroic have got plenty of arsenal, plenty of firepower of their own.
Yeah, now they've got Yugi on the AWP too, who was a integral piece to the Heroic puzzle on their CT side, but D side, not going to be too easy here. A lot of utility already being put down towards Connector. 4 players here, quite attentively for VP as well.
This is what Heroic want, though. They're happy to draw a lot of this away from VP, especially in the first 30 seconds of the round. But it's a change of tact here for Yugi. In much the same way that VP like to play that Ivy position, Yugi's going to join Valda down there with the AWP. Modi. He got himself into Pop Dog here. It's been smoked out by VP here. So essentially suicide if he tried to push that. Neo changed position towards the bomb train and was ready to receive that one now. Pasha, Molotov blooms, 1 point of damage, that's all. Responds. Second, now it's going to force him right on. But they did the same thing to him when he had a CZ. Just to make it harder for him to clinch those easy up and close kills.
Now, doing 2 mollies there obviously shows there's 2 players. So now you can imagine they might have had an idea what's going on, but somehow Yugi just beats Pasha to the punch, and that is a problem. Neo's already got himself in the right position for this. But it looks like Heroic are actually facing this one. I don't know if they saw him earlier or this is just how they like to work out of Ivy. But if there's pressure from another direction, that's where the problem really begins as Nico wins out. Finding Bialy is big. Snacks trying to bolster the numbers, though. He's going to just try and keep this one tilting towards VP's favor, but Yugi and Nico still standing. There's still a chance in this round.
Yeah, Nico can help Yugi in a big way here. The smoke is up and Neo is obscure behind it, but he finds Yugi regardless. Now it's going to be Nico on his own. He needs to salvage this round for himself. There's a player up on the bomb train. Taz is going to go hunting. He doesn't find him, though. Nico gets the better of him. Taz had that one dead to rights. But Nico, without the odds in his favor, still clinches it, and Neo's only got 40 points of HP. It could be a big capitulation in this round for Virtus.pro, but Neo steadies the ship and saves the day for VP. Now he's going to just back away.
Get the AWP.
Get that defuse in.
Yeah, just getting the AWP there. He's got plenty of time. He's got a kit, and the feet just peeking out underneath the train, pretty much giving that one away. A bit of a shame there, almost. You could have felt that happening, and Taz almost allowing it to fall apart too. Close rounds are deadly, but they still have decent money to fall back on. Double AWP as well now into practice. That's interesting. And on the other side, a decent enough buy for Heroic. No AWP this time to be seen. Valde might have to just UMP it, or you just go for the very basics. Yeah, no smokes to be had, really. Only 2 into play. No, excuse me, 3. Didn't see Moddies there. So they can still do the smoke wall if they want. There's plenty of options, so we'll see.
VP now, even the prospect of bringing this match back is still far from their minds. It's round by round stuff here for the Poles. And for Heroic, it's just a matter of 1 more round to close it out. Spam down in towards Pop Dog just in case, but no one is going to be attending for VP this round. That's because they have a double AWP set up here. Sitting back on it, Snacks and Pasha both have those actually over towards that A side. Snacks are looking down a connector. Pasha, as you just saw, in towards Ivy. Good amount of control of that A side at least. But if they have to play a retake, if Heroic can play ahead of their utility and set up something decent, they've only got 1 smoke left, but still they could pressure those AWP players.
So basically, wherever Modi goes is the big telltale sign. He's the only one who can really set off the play. Unless they want to just play, you know, the dry contact game almost. Kind of dangerous, though, but timing is everything now. Down to 56 seconds, and it seems though the 4 players are ready at B, and it is about go time. 1 smoke goes in, the flash comes out. They face together towards Neo. He's going to counter, though. Flash goes back in. Peeks for information. He's going to find it, but they're not going to rush this one. Neo's just watching the cross quite smartly, quite passively, and just gives us a real classy show here between him and Taz, handling it well, and Heroic are running out of steam.
Yeah, good patience by Neo and Taz sitting right back there. It's going to be a plan for Heroic and probably not much more. In fact, not even that. Yugi cremated. As soon as he hits the ground, because it saves Undertaker fees. Heroic just going to have to get Valden to back away here. Neo going a little bit too deep here, but they'd love to get guns away from this Danish squad. They're a little bit light on money. They couldn't afford an AWP in this round even, so that'll be a great way. And that's something you definitely need to consider here as VP in this round. They're not looking too hot for cash either, but a win here will set them straight. I'll be reminded as well that Henry G will probably overtake me in the fantasy standings because my Virtus.pro fandom overtook my logic in how I constructed my team. But that's life, Lauren. It's going to be 15-8.
Tactical pause comes in. And I like that from them. I can imagine it being Heroic. Why not take the pause at this point? You're the ones who are eyeing up DreamHack Austin. You're the ones who want to ensure that it all goes your way. You want to ensure that if you do run into these problems when you're at an event, if you ever play people like VP at this conjecture, how do we approach it? You know, why not take it when you have the opportunity? You are at 15-8. Sure, OT could be a possibility, but it's still a long way off. So they have rounds to play with, they have rounds to spare, but address the issue while you have time to work from it and work on it. So this is the one that we'll be looking at. Still, it looks as though that double AWP has been paying off somewhat, but it's more the CT side sits well with VP at the moment. Neo's side to find a little bit of that, you know, edge to his play almost. He's found that nice little bit of work that he happened to show at B just in that last round. So again, this is where things get a little bit tricky for Heroic. How much depth do they have to bring on this T side?
When we talk about Heroic, you know, having to prepare themselves to face particular problems going forward, why has that been for them? You know, where have they come to this screeching halt? That's more of a rhetorical one.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're more than welcome to chime in if you knew, but VP just now, it started with some of that more aggressive play on that CT side. And it's ended them a solid few rounds, 6 rounds in this half for them.
Ooh.
Here's the execute, though.
Yeah, here he comes. A lot of smokes, a lot of flashes. So all they've got, and they've got Tech 9s and Snacks? What is that? Snacks, why are you going up there so aggressively? Isolates himself from the rest of the team. A quick plant comes through as well. Now, sure, the retake might come in, but the bomb has been planted. And that's a huge bit of impact already found from Heroic. I don't expect them to win out this round, but taking down Snacks with the AWP, finding a plant, then claiming Bialy. Now, Yugi, if you find anything more, you're a bit of a hero. Swiftly tries to back away from it, but merely into the loving arms of Pasha by this point. And a snappy 1v3. And Taz shuts it down.
So we like that from Heroic, that we know that they're sort of going up against a VP that are playing double AWP into this situation. So it could also be, if you're Neo, you see the smokes coming in, you're like, okay, it could be cut out from this side, it could be forced into some really tight angles or not really be able to get involved in the fight. The push forward was interesting, maybe expected, you know, more of a flood of players coming out from Pop Dog across towards E-Box, but it's just traded out. Fortunately, they replenished the AWP that was lost. So not much changes here for Virtus.pro in terms of what they can bring into the round, but now Yuki has himself the AWP back.
And this is the round the Heroic should have been preparing themselves for during that tactical timeout almost. You know, this is the one that they'd be theory crafting for. How do we approach that double up? How do we play around it? You know, how do we break that B-side? What do we do different here? Taz, this is nice. This is almost classic from Taz, I guess. He used to do this a hell of a lot, pushing up by himself, sits above here, and he used to catch people out all the time, but he's got information aplenty. Now, VP are fully aware of what's happening. They can put that utility into play. They'll put down the mollies. Until Taz gets stopped, they have no reason to look away from where they're looking right now.
It's a process of elimination, Lauren, but well, so far it's Virtus.pro getting eliminated, but Snacks turns it back around. It's Valda, though. It's getting a little bit messy over on that side. Traded through. Taz going to go down now. Virtus.pro, they work so hard to keep themselves in this. They've got to keep going, and Neo does just that. It's a quick double kill to spray on towards Valda to secure it. It's a 1v1, though. I've already used up my Yugi meme, but now he's got the AWP, and Neo only 20 points of health. The bomb is loose out in front of the train, and it's time for him to save his team yet again. But no, not this time. A man can only dream sometimes. Lauren and Virtus.pro were so far behind the 8 ball. Even at the start of it, Heroic take it at 2-0.
And you can only save those who want to be saved at this point. That felt like it was almost inevitable at that point. Once it got to that stage, good adjustment from Heroic. It felt like it was a bit of a push at the end, but they did eventually get there.
And that's it. We're pretty much done for the night. But before we do, of course, we'd love to hear what the guys on the desk have to say about this one, especially, you know, small improvements from VP, but overall a very disappointing performance, boys. What are your thoughts?
Well, initial thoughts is 16-9 is usually an indication of a pretty decent win for one team, but this one might even just be generous because at one point it was 15-3. VP never showed up in these two maps.
Yeah, on that first half, I don't think they even got an entry frag on the T side until the 8th or 9th round, right? So they were really struggling in the beginning stages, and then it started to get a little bit closer, but I'm not going to say unorthodox positioning by the players from Heroic, but they always found themselves in advantageous positions or managed to be able to step out and trade with each other when they were losing those picks. There was one round where it was an inner split was happening, and Nico found himself like in a really good position to stop Bialy with the bomb, and fantastic play from them across the board.
Yeah, I mean, especially coming out into clutches and important situations, it always seemed to be the Heroic player making the impact. Yeah. So, I mean, really good stuff. Surprising, convincing victories, that is. You seem pensive.
It looked like Virtus.pro met their makers.
It's not bad. I like that.
I was going to make a few more.
Yeah, can you go more?
Yeah, I think Virtus.pro will be pressing escape after that one.
Maybe Heroic obviously drew a pentagram on the floor and
gave them a bit of a G-shock.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
I'm betting there was 5 golden bets made on EGB.
Just really forcing the issue tonight, aren't you? Really forcing it. We had a good thing going there, Chad, for a moment.
Yeah, there's probably more. I did bring up the Wikipedia.
Prepared
I
segment.
can't really work that one in.
Which one?
I was something to the frag executors.
Yeah, I mean, we could, but it'd be really cheesy, wouldn't it? That one's almost
Chad,
like
you
two
wanna
in your
cup a
face.
hair for
We're
me?
just going to skip right over to the results of today.
Let's
If
do
you
it.
missed some of the matches, this is what went down. 16-10 victory for G2 to open things up, and then Na'Vi responds with a 16-13 win. That was our KFC Zinger Burger hot match of the week. And then moving on, you could see just how badly Virtus.pro 10 rounds across 2 maps against Heroic. You don't see that every
Did
day.
they lose last week as well in Pro League, Virtus.pro?
I'm not sure.
So I was going to say, since if I can't remember the scores last week, but like they went like what 13 rounds over 3 games at LAN in groups, and they got 10 rounds
They are
tonight.
having a rough
and
time.
it's-
They're-
Yeah, this is really bad.
They're
to
in
be
one
fair.
of the downward trends, certainly. G2 gained 2 spots in the standings. They're now in 4th, so trying to solidify that playoff position. And Heroic, they gained 3 spots, and all of a sudden their chances at the playoffs are looking pretty good, while Virtus.pro plummets.
Yeah, they're out driving around in their new E-Class is a little bit too much. Maybe taking care of some kids and not playing Counter-Strike.
It's just
Down
a
and
weird.
out.
No, it's a weird thing because the other night in the ECS they managed to have a really good showing against NIP, and here it seems to just not be so. So maybe just another one of those nights for
Been a while
VP.
since we've seen them at a Pro League finals, so I mean, it's looking like
Yeah,
again we'll see them missed out. Either way, if you're going to stay up once again for the North American division, always fun watching some good old-fashioned North American Counter-Strike. NRG
Cutler's
taking
gonna
on
out-frag
Team
Gusto.
Rush, and Complexity taking on CLG. CLG, who is so surprising over at Star Ladder. Very impressive performance from them. We'll see if they can keep it up against Complexity online with some good stuff over there. Tomorrow, make sure you're tuning in. We've got LDLC taking on Na'Vi. We've got Kinguin taking on North. Penguins versus Lions? Wolves?
Wolves.
It's got a main, though.
Penguins versus that's a Lion.
Yeah, I think it's a lion. The LDLC
Yeah.
one is definitely a wolf. Either
Well,
way.
it's the FC Copenhagen official animal. That's what it would be, I would assume. I assume
Oh,
it's
yeah,
a
I'm
lion.
not sure. You'd think there'd be some kind of synergy
Yeah,
there,
there's got
wouldn't
to be
you?
a correlation somewhere.
Either way, those are the matches we got for you tomorrow. So come back, join all the fun, all the madness. You guys witnessed it tonight. It's a good time, definitely.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in this evening. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great evening.